Alrighty then, so it looks like everything has been set up properly, and the stream is now going. I can see chat and everything. Let's just go ahead and let's go straight into it, shall we? We are here once again in front of the abyss, and after about a week of just trying my hardest to increase the power of my characters, I believe that we are now at the point where we can completely defeat the 36th floor of the last floor of Abyss, 12-3, with the characters that we have right now. Now, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work or not, but this is going to be the team that we're going to be bringing. We're going to be bringing Albedo, as we did last time. He's pretty much here to just to provide Crystallize, as well as a bit of damage at the very beginning. Then we're going to be bringing Xingqiu, our good old Xingqiu, who is the character that has been leveled up the most. I'm going to go over what I changed for Xingqiu. We're also going to be bringing Bennett, who is going to be our main way of getting rid of the Abyss Lector's shields. And then we have our good old character right here in Xiangling, who is our main DPS, who has received quite a massive buff from the last time that we saw her. So, let me go ahead and let's take a look at the team that we have right now. We're going to start with Xiangling, who has been the one that has had the biggest increase overall. As you can see, her attack power right now is through the roof. It used to be significantly lower last time that we had our Xiangling. I went ahead and I finally took the bullet and upgraded the Crimson Pike all the way to max. It is now finally at level 90, where it should be. Um, I also went ahead and I upgraded her artifacts quite a bit. This is what we're running right now. We're running the 2-set Pale Flame, 2-set Bloodstained. These are the numbers we have right now. The crit rate mask is not super ideal, but we do have quite a bit of energy recharge as well as extra attack that's helping quite a bit. We have this one right here, which is pretty good all around. It's not a bad physical goblet. It does have a little bit of extra crit damage as well as some energy recharge. We have this Bloodstained Hourglass, which also has crit rate and crit damage centered on it. Our Bloodstained Feather, again, crit rate, crit damage, a whole bunch of energy recharge. I would have preferred if it had gone somewhere else, but we basically have almost like 160 energy recharge on our Xiangling, which means that she's going to be spamming her Pyronado quite a bit. And since my Xiangling is actually C5 at the moment, we do have that extra powerful Pyronado. Ooh, hello, people are starting to come in. Hello, HH. Pretty much just going through a lot of the artifacts. And lastly, the one that changed the most, we now have a flower that honestly got a massive, massive increase. As you can see, not only does it have an extra 6% crit rate, which is pretty massive for our Xiangling, um, we also got 21% crit damage on this flower. I kid you not, this is probably the best artifact that I have, period. I don't think I have a better artifact than this one. And yeah, it is now on my Xiangling. So that's what I changed for Xiangling. Bennett, I did not change Bennett at all. In fact, let me go ahead and bring back what we're going to be using on our Bennett. We're actually going to be stealing the equipment that I normally have on my official because we want to have the Thundering Fury set so that we can get spam as much as possible once we get to the shield phase. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and steal everything that I have on my official. These are the final stats for Bennett. Not ideal, not ideal. It works on my official because my official has more crit damage. My Bennett does not. It's still enough. At the end of the day, we only really have Bennett as a form of safety and as a way to pretty much enable Xiangling to drop the Abyss Lectors down, then kill the shield. So the damage doesn't actually matter. The only thing that matters here is energy recharge, which we have a decent amount of. So that's what we're going to be doing with Bennett. Next one, we have Xingqiu. And Xingqiu has seen quite a bit of changes from last time that we had. One question. What do you guys think is the appropriate amount of energy recharge for Xingqiu? Now, I'm going to let you think on that one for a second, and then I'm going to give you the answer. Alright, so now that you can think of your answer, the answer is yes. We have 216% energy recharge on our Xingqiu. I have no idea how I managed to get this much. But yeah, we have 216% energy recharge on Xingqiu. After doing a bit of testing, a single one of his E is actually enough to fully charge him up. So yeah, the answer was yes. One of the reasons why we actually got so much was because I leveled up the Favonius Sword. I got the Favonius Sword a pretty long time ago, but I never actually used it because I didn't have a character. I didn't have a character invested, better said, that took good advantage of it. I decided to take the bullet. I had a lot of resources that I was saving up for upgrading weapons, so now we have the Favonius Sword, and it's actually very helpful. The other thing that I did is I leveled up the artifacts a little bit. I did not manage to fully level up the crit rate artifact. Was missing a couple resources, but it's up to level 19. That's not too bad. The goblet is now at max. It actually rolled pretty well from what we want for Xingqiu. This is actually kind of perfect. I have a decent amount of energy recharge. I have a decent amount of crit damage. The other two substats are HP, which I do want in order to get more healing out of my Xingqiu. So that ended up really nice. I do have a energy recharge watch, mainly because I needed energy recharge. I can probably get rid of this one now that I have the Favonius Sword. I don't think this one's gonna matter that much. I do kind of like the extra crit rate though. If I get a better artifact, I'm probably gonna put it here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. For now, this is good enough. Hey, Red, Ronan, people are starting to come here. We're gonna be starting pretty soon. I'm just kind of showing off a little bit of the things that we changed, as well as the things that we currently have on our characters. The other thing is I leveled up the plume for quite a bit, and I actually got an amazing one for Xingqiu in particular. Um, I got really lucky with a lot of substats for my Xingqiu, if I'm being honest. Again, Xingqiu, the main stats that you really want are HP and crit, and that's pretty much everything that I got. I think I have two artifacts that I would consider mainstays on my Xingqiu. You can go for a bit of extra damage. Xingqiu doesn't really need it, if I'm being honest. His main priority, at least in my team, he's not a damage dealer. He is a reaction enabler as well as defensive character. So for me, this works out better. He's kind of a pseudo healer as well. The last thing is the flower. I leveled it up ever so slightly. We ended up getting this one. It rolled into defense. Not ideal, but again, it's not the worst thing in the world. So that's what we're running right now. The only other character that we're running is Albedo. I did not touch my Albedo in the slightest. He's just running a couple different things. I have this Mask of Solitude, a lot of energy recharge. I have this thing right here, which is insane, but it didn't roll into all the stats that I wanted. It's still not fully leveled. I have to level this up at some point. Um, I have this. It's defense. It has crit rate. That's pretty much it. This defense, crit rate. Again, pretty much it. And then this flower, which is honestly really good, has a decent amount of crit rate. This is how my albedo is looking at the moment. I'm mainly focused on energy recharge. And I know that the crit rate looks very low, but the reason for that is because I'm using the Festering Desire. So for the ability that actually matters, I have 40% crit rate. Which, after doing a bit of math, yes, I did do math to figure out what was the adequate amount of crit rate. This ended up being higher in most cases, rather than having something else. So that's why my albedo is the way that it is. So now, this is the team. Is it, uh, is it gonna work? I don't know. I legitimately don't know, but we did really good last time. Let me just make sure that everything is set up properly. Shanglang. This is her stats, what she's looking at right now. Crescent Pike, full set. Yep, looking good. Bennett, just making sure he has Thundering Fury. Weapon is Lion's Roar. This is what he's looking at like right now. Xingqiu. We just went over this guy. This is how he's looking up right now. A lot of energy recharge, Favonius Sword, and no Blessed Gladiators. I would prefer to have something else, but I just don't have the resources for that. So this is what we're running for now. I do have the second constellation on him. Alright. Roll 4 times on banner, got rank 4 rust. Oh. Yeah. The banner. Hmm. And it's a lot of really, really good 4-star weapons that I'm really looking forward to. The Sacrificial Sword is probably the one that most people want. The Sacrificial Fragment's also not that bad. And even the Song of Broken Pines, it's actually pretty good. Um, I don't know. I would not roll on this banner. There are probably some cases where this is the right decision. I don't think that's the case for me though. But yeah, enough of that. Enough stalling. Let's get to torture, shall we? Again, as I've mentioned a couple times, this version of Viz is definitely the worst one that we've had so far. Um, Probably the last one actually. This one is slightly more tolerable because of the ley line disorder. Let's see. Doesn't seem like we're actually getting any good of good things for this one. This one's actually okay because this will affect both my Noel on the other team as well as Beta on this one. This one they don't even have weaknesses, so this is useless, and all my characters are full HP, so this is probably the one that we're gonna be picking up. The extra defense might actually be helpful because it'll make us more tanky. Um, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The strategy that we're going to be going for is we're going to be rushing over into this direction. And we're going to be waiting for these two to line up. Up. That sucked. I messed that one up for sure. I think it's still looking pretty alright. Not as good as I would like, but we're getting some good timing here. Again, I think as long as we have a single minute, we should be good for the other team. I definitely messed up because I got hit by a lot of the energy balls that I didn't want to get hit by. But that's fine. We're pretty much just going to be going up until... Oh, that killed my Xingqiu. I didn't even see that. That's bad. I don't think we can do it without Xingqiu. Yeah, I don't think we can do this one. I'm still gonna complete it because I'm still gonna complete it because I want to see how quickly we can take down these guys, as well as... Oh my god, we're destroying them. Oh my god, that was so quick. That took like 15 seconds. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do this. As long as we don't mess up on the first part, we can 100% do this. You want the Eula a lot and you're tired of waiting? Eula's pretty good. I do want to talk about Eula at some point, but I'm not entirely sure. I think I want to do a lot of changes for the channel pretty soon, and as I've been looking through a lot of the content, I do realize that a lot of the guides that I do, they're not up to the standard that I put to myself, and they're also not as useful as other people might look into them. They've also not been doing super good, if I'm being honest, and I put a lot of work into it, so I might have to change the formula for that one. I do want to talk about Eula at some point, though. Not entirely sure how I'm going to be doing that one, though. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of things that I want to plan on changing. But anywho, that's for another time. For now, I want to see what our best bet is going to be. Uh, the main idea and the main reason why I have Noel as well as Ningguang here alongside Venti, what I'm gonna try to be doing is I'm gonna start the challenge, dash backwards, switch to Venti, activate his burst, and try to gather all three of them into one location. At which point, I'm just gonna burst with Ningguang, do as much damage as I can, just make it so they start bouncing, see if they can take some fall damage from that, and then activate Noel's sweeping time in order to hit all three of them at the same time and stagger them. That's gonna be the hope. We'll see if it works. I messed that up already. It looks like I still got all three of them. Let's see how much damage we can do with Ningguang. Alright, we're doing some good damage. Now, it's time for Noel. One of them teleported, which is annoying. That is really annoying. Man, that sucks. If she didn't teleport, we might have been able to... We might have actually been able to do this one if she didn't teleport. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, that is really unfortunate. But taking a look at the damage, yeah, if we do everything perfectly and this one doesn't teleport, that should be about 1 minute. We can do this. We can 100% do this. Man, this might end up being a easier stream than I thought. I thought we were gonna be suffering quite a lot, but we're actually looking pretty good with the strategies as well as just how effective we're doing them. As I say that, my Shangling died. I have no idea how. Alright, that's fine. I guess she got hit when I switched. That's... oh, I picked the wrong buff. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. I think we can, I'm pretty sure we can do this at this point. The teams that we brought are pretty much exactly what we needed. I just have to play properly. It's gonna take me a couple seconds to get warmed up. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, that's fine. This one's this one's definitely not going as well as the other one. I've already messed up quite a bit, and I didn't manage to get both of them together. But we're still doing pretty good. Yeah, I definitely messed up on that one. I definitely messed up on that one. On this side, I should try the Chinese national team. I did try the Chinese national team. I don't like that one too much, if I'm being honest. Yes, it is one of the best teams for damage dealing. I do think the defense department lacks a little bit too much. I know that's the one that a lot of people are using to finish this Abyss floor. One of the things and one of the reasons why I don't like that one in particular, I do have to level up my Chongyun a little bit. That one does rely a lot on being able to mount a lot of Chongyun's attacks for a good chunk of the damage. My Chongyun is not built enough, so I am losing quite a bit of damage. The Chinese national team I do want to talk about that team. That's actually a really, really good team that has been crafted with a lot of thought into it. It's really well balanced. I'm not a big fan of it though. It's very difficult to pilot it. Alright, this one went a lot better. I managed to get all my bursts off without any big issues. Okay. I managed to get a pretty decent amount of damage. That's unfortunate. I didn't get as much as I wanted there. Let me just cycle through a couple characters. See if I can get enough energy for Bennett Burst. I definitely played this one a bit bad, if I'm being honest. We lost a lot of time. Oh my. That is... Yeah, that's just unfortunate. The problem's definitely not the shields anymore, the problem's just me messing up. I'm just gonna reset this one. I don't think we have enough time with for the secondary team. What we're aiming for is probably ending somewhere around minute 8 with as many seconds as we can. If we finish by minute 8, we can definitely do this. Yeah, the point of National Team is to exploit as many of these snapshots as possible. Which, speaking of, I plan on making a video talking about snapshotting and what exactly changed on 1.4, as well as which characters can't snapshot anymore. One of which is actually Xingqiu. Xingqiu can no longer snapshot. I'm not sure if he's ever been able to snapshot. I just know that, as it stands right now, he cannot snapshot. Neither can Mona. Which is kind of annoying. But it's whatever. I lost a lot of energy there, that sucks. Ah, this sucks. They're not close enough together. Maybe. Damn it, I lost, I lost the Pyronado. That sucks. That really sucks. I froze on that one. I don't know. Do you guys would you guys want to see a video kind of detailing which characters can and which characters can't snapshot and how exactly it works? Because they did change a couple things, and snapshotting has always been kind of difficult to understand. I'm still working on a damage explained video, which I'm not entirely sure when is going to come out, but I do plan on having it come out at some point soon. This one's looking pretty good. Xiangling died! Oh no! I thought I saved her! Ah, that sucks. That really sucks. I dashed a little bit too much. Ah, that is so unfortunate. Wanted to cover real quick to see if we get abused. I am getting very abused. Not so bad as what we get. Pretty much, pretty much. I don't think I'm at the point where I have to do everything perfect anymore. I just have to make sure that I don't screw it up. God, that drains so much energy. I had to run away from this. Okay, so both of them are together now. This means that I can start grabbing the crystallized shields from good old Beta over here. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. Oh, Xiangling died! No! I thought I dodged that! Oh, that is not what I wanted. Still, 755. 755. That's the closest one I've seen. I'm not using Beto on this one. I do have my Beto leveled up. I really like Beto. Right now, though, I just think I need other characters a bit more. Oh, Beto. Looked like a sack right there. It was a Favonius. Yeah, I'm using Favonius. I did with Child. I used to do it with Child, but then I got my Fischl to C6. Once I got my Fischl to C6, Fischl is just, she's the premier damage dealer for Electrocharge, so Baido kind of, lost a lot of the value there. I still plan on using her quite a bit though, because again, Bido's mitigations are insane. It's just she's no longer a mainstay of the team. She's more a counter pick for Abyss. If there ever comes an Abyss floor where I really need defense, Bido and Child are probably the ones that I'm gonna be subbing in at some point. Never say this is looking good. Yeah, probably a good idea. I like to invite fate though. More fun. Ah, she teleported! No! And she put her shield. Ah, this is so annoying. If she hadn't teleported. If she hadn't teleported. Ah, that is the saddest thing. That is the saddest thing. We almost got it on that one. We almost got it on that one. Bido could be useful for an Electro team. Yeah. There's a lot of things I really like about Bido. I think Stormbreaker is an underrated burst. That burst is insane. It has just as much damage potential as the one that Xingqiu has, and I'm pretty sure that one you can still snapshot. I'm gonna have to take a look into that. I think I don't even think Bido needs a couple buffs. She just needs a character that can take full advantage of her, and we might be getting a couple of those characters pretty soon. Her main problem is just energy recharge, but you can get her energy recharge pretty high up if you just invest properly. Mine is just not properly invested for that. Her counter mechanic is kind of ridiculous as well if you get really good with it. Yeah, Bido is insane. I just don't have her on my team right now because Fischl is just brain dead. When you have her at 6-6. And since a lot of my carries are very fast attackers, it just makes more sense for me to use Fischl rather than Bido. My main carries at the moment that I can properly call carries would be Xiangling and Child. And both of them take better advantage of having Fischl than they do taking Bido. I know that I have Xingqiu, I can still get the mitigation, so it's a bit of a weird thing. It's a bit of a weird thing. Out of the two, which one's better, Bido or Xingqiu? It depends a lot on the team. And in this particular scenario, because I already have my Fischl at C6, I prefer to use my Fischl. Granted, if there ever comes a time where we have enemies that are ridiculously powerful, like they are one-shotting characters, I fully expect that I'm going to be bringing a Xingqiu Bido combination just to face tank everything. Monoton first. I don't think Monoton does anything, does it? Because it doesn't taunt the bats, or does it? I don't know. I'll try that. I'll monotaunt while they're in the tornado. We'll see if that works. I probably shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Doesn't matter too much. I definitely should have waited for Bennett. Still 5 seconds. We're not close enough together. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this one. Shit, that wasn't enough either. Oh, that might be close enough. That might be close enough. This one's gonna be close. That's unfortunate. We didn't get enough. We didn't get enough for that. We only have 38 seconds. I don't think it's gonna be enough. That's fine. I finished it anyways because I wanna try to test out a couple things on this floor in particular because I want to see how fast we can do it. So let's see. Let's try this. Mona, Ning Wong. That one definitely went wrong because I got thrown off. See, that's the thing that sucks. Not only do I have to be perfect on the second one, I also have to be perfect on this one. And that's the one that sucks. Because this one is going to be entirely based on how lucky I get with this girl's teleport. We can definitely do it though. We just got to get that perfect streak. Alrighty. The biggest issue right now with this one is that the entire thing that's gonna say if you succeed or not is going to be... One sec, I'm just gonna... Oh, Jesus. Sorry if I'm talking, I'm concentrating a bit more than I probably should. Okay, I did not see how much time. I did not see how much time we got on that one, but I'm pretty sure that has been the biggest, or the fastest one we've done so far. Okay, so we have 8 minutes. They all separated. Yeah. That sucks. They separated. Ah! I don't think we can do it within the time. Not with how much they separated. Ah, this sucks. That sucks. I think, I don't think the Omen is gonna be enough, because what I need is I need them to start moving around, so I need to hit them immediately. Alright, we're about to get Bennett Burst. Now we should be able to heal up our Shangling a little bit. Perfect. The problem here is they separated too much. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I can kill this one, but I won't have enough time. Try to get Ventiverse a second time. We have enough energy regeneration to get Ventiverse a second time for the other part. I'm not worried about that part. I think one of the reasons why I bring Mona actually is so I use the taunt once I'm done with Noelle to give me time. That still hit me. That sucks. Okay, we got both of them together, both of them are down. I have crystallized shields right here, which means that I'm pretty much almost impossible to kill. Oh, come on, really? Ah, oh, my god, that sucks. Okay, that's fine. We lost like 10 seconds because I got pushed at the last second and got hit by triple lightning. That's unfortunate, but it's fine. We can still work around it.
諦めなさい。降参しなさい。無駄な努力をや。風だ。戦場のお掃除の時間です。助けが任せて。
Not enough. Just not enough. The ninja just went too far away. Ah, that sucks. You suck. Ah. That's fine. I did learn a couple things from that one. That one did go pretty much how I wanted it to go. The only main problem that I had there was the Fatui guy. He just separated too much from the group. The Electro lady teleported too far away, and that just ruins the time. I need to figure out a way to just keep her from teleporting. Easier said than done, really. Jesus. The stagger is real, yeah. God, my timing is just wrong for the resets for the dodges. That was my bad. Xiangli helps a lot. The stagger reduction is pretty massive, especially in floors like this where they just have stagger for literally everything. This one's probably going to be a failure because this guy, this guy got staggered backwards, which means that it's gonna be too difficult to get him back into position. He's back into position now, but a lot of the damage that we should have done to this guy is just gone. Yeah, this one's probably going to be a failure. Still trying it, though. Oh, this one's definitely going to be a failure. Yeah, I'm just going to reset it. That sucks. That sucks a lot. Alright, so the main thing is, on the first phase, we have to make sure they stay together. And that's really, really annoying because on that one, the thing that screwed me over is that he staggered to the left, not the right. That is what ruined the run. His stagger went the wrong direction. That is how ridiculous this abyss is at the moment. I'm just switching to all my characters to see their cooldowns. I've lost too much energy, I've lost too much stamina. I'm not sure if I can do this one. We're about to get Bennett pretty soon. Aww. That sucks. The energy drain is just too ridiculous. Oh, that's fine. I'm still gonna finish this one. I'm not gonna reset. Mainly because I want to see... I want to get a couple more times on the second phase to see what the best combo is gonna be. So I'm just gonna finish this one. Because I think we've pretty much proven that we can get like an extra 30 seconds off of this particular phase. A lot of the big issue right now is on the second one. The second one just has to go so perfect.
さようなら。取るに足らないわ。死の風格に気をつけます。運命よ、ここにいでよ。待ちなさい。その命いただいたわ。取るに足らないわ。風だ。メイドの礼儀に気をつけます。
Okay, so second Vetiverse, it is possible. It does give me enough energy for Noelle, and it looks like based on my timing, if everything goes like it went on that one, we should be able to do it if we have about a minute. So we just have to, what we have to do is we have to make sure that we do the following rotation. We're going to go Benti immediately into Ningguang. We have to drop the screen instantly so they get sent flying away and they don't summon all the minions. At which point I can safely Star Shatter, which will do a lot of damage. Ideally, when they teleport, there will be enough time left on Venti's burst to still pull them close together. At which point Noelle should be able to stagger them for the duration of her burst. And that should be enough to give me enough energy for Venti. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. And if all of that goes perfectly, it should only take about a minute. So now we just have to make sure that we can do this one to enable that. Ah, damn it, I thought I dodged that. I was just slightly too late. That's fine. The biggest issue that we have at the very beginning is just getting them together. If one of them gets sent flying the wrong direction, that immediately just ruins the run. I switched to the wrong character, that's not good. Wait, what? What killed me there? This fight has a lot of RNG tied to it, which is the unfortunate part. There's a lot of ways to get that into your favor, but the thing is, since a lot of the basic attacks have auto lock-on, they automatically move the character depending on where the auto lock-on goes. And, well, theoretically, you should be able to control that. In practice, it's just very, very difficult.
師匠の技を食らいなさ5番火を吹けはっやっそれやっはっそれふっあーやっはっはっこの剣はわかるかいよしはっやっはっそれやっはっはっやっはっ料理の時創世の時雨描きがたしふっやっはっはっやっそれはっはっ疑似用くらえくらえいや燃えろへっへっはっはっせ全力攻撃だせくらえくらえ燃えろ
God, the stagger is so difficult to control.
みんながそばにいてくれれば
Okay, we got it. We got it, we got it, we got it. We have about a minute. Exactly a minute. This should be possible, assuming everything goes right.
逃げようなんて思わないでよねさようなら無駄な努力をや騎士の風格に気をつけます助けが必要はっこれで間に合い
She dropped the shield, which is very annoying, but we should still be able to do it.
取るに足らないわ
Now we just need to get Venti.
風だ戦場のお掃除の時間ですやっ
We got it! 3 stars! Let's go! That, that actually worked. Yeah, that worked. It took us an hour. It took us about an hour. That actually took a lot less than what I thought it was going to take us. But, that's 36 stars in Abyss. It only took 2 weeks. A whole bunch of planning. 3 5-star characters. And an insane amount of investment on my Noelle. Yeah. MVP for sure. Noelle, 100%. And, Thundering Fury Bennett. I think these two were the ones... Well, as much as I hate to give him credit, I don't think we could have done this without Venti. As much as I hate to give Venti credit, I don't think we could have done it without Venti, if I'm being 100% honest. That second part is just too much. The having to get all the Fatui together, that is just way too ridiculous. But yeah, after all of that, so many resources, so much frustration, so many things had to go perfect. Let's go and pick up our final reward. I feel cheated. I spent almost 1 million more trying to get the characters leveled up. And we got 25,000. Man, Abyss sucks. But yeah, hey, poor Venti. I I'm sorry, I do not like Venti. I am not a Venti fan. I apologize. Never liked him. I don't think I ever will. I understand that he is incredibly good for modding or for mobbing situations, especially in places like Abyss, but I am just not a fan of Venti. Just not a fan. I think if they make a skin for Venti, maybe I'll be more maybe I'll be more receptive to him. I just don't like his current design. But yeah, we actually managed to beat Abyss. That is pretty surprising. I was not expecting that to happen. So I guess you have bragging rights of free to play. I don't even know if I consider myself free to play. I am free to play, but let's be real. What bragging rights are there? I have a goddamn Venti on the team and another two 5 stars. Can I even consider that an achievement? Like, let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic here. How many free to plays are going to be as batshit lucky as I am? I have a rank 5 Crescent Pike. The Shang Ling that I have right here is at C5. My Bennett's at C4. My Xingqiu's at C2. That's not super bad. My Albedo's at C1 for God's sake. I have a Mona. I got this Mona as my second summon. Um, Ning Wang was at C6. And Venti's just Venti. He doesn't matter. I don't I don't know. This is just way too much for free to play or paid even. It's a lot of frustrations that they're honestly just not worth it. But yeah, I guess we did beat it. We did beat it. I don't know. I don't feel like I beat it based on skill. I feel like I beat it based on luck. Because if I didn't have exactly the characters that I have right now, as invested as they are, I don't think I could have beaten it. And that's what makes it feel so bad, if I'm being honest, because it doesn't feel like a reward. It feels like I got rewarded for being lucky, not for putting the effort in. Because I'm just thinking over it. What other way could I have possibly beaten this without venting? I just don't see it. Like maybe sucrose? Even then, I don't think I would have been able to. It's just it feels like an empty reward if I'm being honest. Luck is also a bragging right. I guess that is true. I said you could do it. I believed. Thank you. Thank you for believing. We did manage to do it. It it's it's a bit of a bittersweet moment if I'm being honest. For one, I managed to do it, but I take a look at everything that I had to do in order to get to that point, and it just doesn't feel like it's worth it. Just to show that I am actually free to play. I've never bought the Welcome Pass. Never. I've never bought a single Battle Pass either. Um, and Crystal Top Ups, they're all at max bonuses. Never bought a single one. And yes, I am indeed using Mexican pesos as the currency.
いいけど一緒に食材を探しに行こうよ
I don't know. When it comes to Abyss, there definitely has to be a couple changes. Um, just going through a couple of frustrations that we've seen so far. Let's take a look at what we have right here in this current Abyss floor. I don't think the... I'm not super worried about the Blessing of the Moon. The Blessing of the Moon is usually just a really nice bonus that you tend to get for some characters. Um, the one that we have right now... The one that we have right now is actually really nice for my team in particular. Whenever a enemy hits a Geo shield, it makes a massive amount of damage based on the strength of the shield, and my Noel shield is insane. So it just does so much damage. At the very end, one of the things that you noticed is that one of the flies attacked me, and it released the shield. It did like 20,000 damage to all three of them. But yeah, if we just take a look at the Abyss, I'm actually not too annoyed at the first two floors. I actually think these two floors are pretty okay. They have the There are the cryo floors. The most annoying part about this one is probably the Fatui skirmishers. But even those you can probably beat no problem, thanks to Shang Ling. That's not that big of a deal, even for free-to-play players. That's easy enough to do. They're also lower level and all that, so with a little bit of investment, you can just insta-kill them more or less. The second one, this one's a bit more annoying because at this point you start getting the permafreezes that you see that you start seeing in other areas. Um, but in here, you can still deal with it. It's not instant. It doesn't happen all the time. There's times to avoid it. It's not as annoying. It's certainly annoying, but not as much. Same thing here. This one is more with the electro guy, the one that keeps on proccing superconduct. That one's the annoying part. But even then, deal with. There's only a few enemies. Not that big of a problem. And in here, Frostarm Lautaro is actually a pretty good end boss for the entirety of this part of the Abyss. I don't have a problem with these floors. Here is where everything starts changing. And this is where a lot of the frustrations come in. Um, let's start with this one. I'm going to be 100% honest. This one is not that bad. The previous one that we had, the previous defense objective, that one was painful. This one, not so much. It's a lot easier to take care of treasure hoarders than it is to take care of the hillagers with the shields. You don't need as much counter in order to be able to do that, and it is a lot easier to grab their attention, so they don't immediately go and attack the pillar. This one is okay. I still hate this type of fight, but it is a lot better. The enemies, they don't respawn as soon as you kill them. You have to kill them in waves, which gives you enough time to gather energy for bursts. That gives you enough time to run down the timer of the of the slowing waters. This one's a lot simpler. It's easier to deal with. It is not as annoying. It gives you ways to fight back. This one, this one's a bit more on the suspicious side, but even this one's not that horrible. Fatui, they're very annoying to deal with, but you do have a lot of really good characters early on that you get early on that can deal with them. Shang Ling comes to mind, Kea comes to mind. We got a free Diona that also that we've been able to use into this. If you're very early into the game's life cycle, you also got a free Fischl that can also help into these scenarios. It's something that a free-to-play player that has been playing for a while can realistically accomplish. It's not the most interesting of challenges, but it's also not the most annoying one. This one's okay. I would probably prefer if there was like one less Electro Hammer, but then again, you can still deal with it. This one's not that bad. This one was made in hell. I'm just gonna say that much. This one was made in hell. The system mages, both the cryo and the electro one. Once the cryo in particular is the one that has the most problems with this one, because this one spawns not only the water fairies but also the ice ones. And in this floor in particular, there is no way to avoid the freezing scenario unless you have immunity. And because of how quickly the flies attack, they're impossible to dodge. You're going to be frozen as soon as they come in. And the cryo one in particular, if you cannot kill her before she summons the shield by itself is so ridiculously difficult to take care of that you might as well just reset at that point. It'll take you like a solid 30, 40 seconds just to get rid of the shield. And that's if you have the characters that can. There's a lot of characters that if this Fatui Cryosystem Mage puts up the shield, you're not going to be able to destroy it. And one of the most frustrating things is that as soon as you drop the shield, there is a chance that she just summons another one. I think that's probably the thing that makes her the most annoying to deal with. Or at least I would say that if they hadn't added the Abyss Heralds. My god. this Abyss just has so many things that make you want to rage quit super, super badly. Um, a lot of the things about the Abyss Heralds, pretty much everybody here has been playing a lot of the Abyss. They are impossible to deal with. They have a lot of really fast attacking attacks that do insane amounts of damage. They can one-shot a lot of characters, and then once they start spinning, they might as well be considered immune because not only you're not going to be able to catch up with them, not only from a reaction standpoint, but also just from an attack point, an attack standpoint. They are very difficult to hit while they're spinning, and they keep on spinning multiple times. It's not just once they do it. They spin for a solid 7 seconds every rotation, and they spin 3 times for those 7 seconds. So as soon as they start spinning, you're gonna waste 21 seconds just trying to catch up to them. And because there's a 3 minute timer in order to get the maximum amount, it's the only way that you're realistically going to be able to fight these guys is if you can freeze them. And our options for freeze are very, very limited. You either have Gan Yu, you have Chong Yun, or you give up. There is no in between. If you do not have one of those two characters, I have no idea how you beat this within the allotted time frame. I was trying to do it with Diona. Diona can't do it. Not even with the C4. She just can't freeze them for long enough. It's it's something. It is definitely something. And we're probably just gonna have to keep on saying the same thing over and over again until MiHoYo understands that we don't want more Abyss like this. This one's just frustrating. It's not. It's neither entertaining to play. It's not rewarding, even when you beat it. But that's just Abyss, isn't it? And then floor 12. There's a lot to talk about this one. We have the Horde over here. This one's incredibly difficult to deal with. We have this one over here, the permanent freeze floor, where on the second part, the Hydro Sissin, if you can't get rid of it quick enough, you're just going to be permanently frozen. This one, Geoviship's already very annoying to deal with. The Whooperflower is famous for being a game ender in the first Abyss floors that we had. That they basically grabbed the most annoying things they have thrown at us that we've had from the start of the game, and they just put it into a single floor. Into a single floor. It's just ridiculous. The Geo Bishops, the Whooper Flowers, then you have the resistance, electro resistance thing that gives everybody so much defense and resistance against normal damage, or elemental damage, my bad. You have the Sissons, which have permanent freeze, the Electro one that permanently staggers you, and then in the second half, you have Abyss Mages alongside the Hydro Mimics. This is just annoying. And then we have this one that took us 2 different streams and a hell of a lot of leveling in order to be able to beat. God, this Abyss sucks. I'm glad we beat it. I'm glad we beat it, but I'm not looking forward to the Spiral Abyss from now on. It has just left such a sour taste in the mouths of many. MiHoYo's gonna have to try really, really hard if they want to salvage this. If they want to salvage this activity. Right now, it's pretty much the only end game that Genshin has, and it can't be this frustrating. It's alright for it to be hard, but it can't be frustrating. That's when you start having people leave. And I know that a lot of people left left for quite a while because of this Abyss. Um, this has to change. That's kind of that's kind of the only thing that I get from being able to do this. And the fact that I managed to get all of this, I guess, will give me a little bit more say in the matter because I've been able to prove that it's not because I'm bad. It is because I can see the frustrations that come from trying to beat this at the max level. So I guess it's a good thing that I did manage to beat it. Um, but yeah, that kind of leaves a lot of the things that I want to say about Abyss. So I think one of the things we can do, we can probably go ahead and just switch over to Q&A, since that's probably going to be best thing to do about right now. I still have a little bit of time when it comes to the time that I have for streaming. I did not expect we were going to be able to beat this so quickly. Um, Let me just go over to an area that I know has a really nice background, and we'll just do a bit of Q&A. So yeah, if you have any questions, I want to talk a little bit about I want to talk about a little bit about the live stream that we just had for 1.6. We pretty much saw a lot of the events that we had seen in leaks, and I want to ask kind of like what everyone's excited about for that one. I know that I'm looking forward to the Barber skin. The Jean skin is pretty much going to be paid. I don't even have jeans, so no point in me getting excited. I do have to say I am a big fan of the design. I love the design for the Jean skin. Um, and I'm excited to see what we're going to get for more skins. But I kind of want to hear what everybody's thoughts are on the matter. I can finally talk about Kazuha, and it does seem like he got a pretty decent buff from what I was able to see. It looks like they reworked his elemental skill a little bit, so it works a little bit more like Sucrose, which is definitely a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. The first elemental skill that we saw, yeesh, that one had a lot of issues, a lot of issues. The new one, I think it'll be pretty good. I'm no longer super worried about Kazuha. I still think he's gonna be one of the most expensive characters that we're gonna have in Genshin. I do plan on doing a video about him probably next week. I gotta see the priority, the priorities that we have on the list. All right, let's get our lawyer set up. There we go. Okay, Q&A time. Okay, so it looks like people are very excited for 1.6. I am pretty excited for 1.6. I know that they said that we were going to be getting a lot of very interesting skins, and they kind of hinted at the fact that we're going to be able to get the Noel and the Deluxe skin. And I'm looking forward for the Noel skin. If I get that Noel skin, I'm going to be super happy. Um, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I really, really want that Noel skin that we saw early on from character concepts. EM buff, that's a good one, Ronan. We do have to talk about that one because I do think that that one's going to be something to look forward into the future. This ship, the little ship, that as well. So let's go ahead and let's start with that event, shall we? The beach event. I'm not entirely sure what the official name is going to be, but it's basically going to be the summer event for Genshin, where we're going to be able to drive around on a little ship, and we're going to be having a lot of different mini games that are going to be hosted by Klee of all people. So it's going to be pretty adorable, based on that. Um, I'm looking forward to that one because it's just a fun event. It doesn't look like it's going to be annoying or anything of the sort. It just has a whole bunch of mini games that I do kind of miss from events like Lantern Rites. I would hope that a lot of the events that we have been getting for Genshin would become a permanent addition, but I can see why they wouldn't want to do that. Although it is a shame. I kind of miss the tower defense one, if I'm being honest. I was having a lot of fun with that one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. 1.6 definitely looks a lot better than 1.5. 1.5, well, it did bring us things like Asdaha, which I do think is probably the best boss fight they've done to date. Um, Maybe Child. I don't know. Child was pretty good as well. Uh, it just didn't bring enough. And it brought in the current Abyss, which is what everybody's quitting the game for. I'm really hoping that 1.6 they'll be able to do a couple things better, but if I'm being honest, I have like no hope on the Abyss now. Based on what we have seen so far, it does not look like it's going to be a lot of fun. We did see that they were going to be adding a new type of enemy, the samurai looking guy, the Oni samurai, which I do find interesting from a lore perspective because one of the things that it's very noticeable about him is there's strings attached to him. And they have kind of like this Fatui design, but they have clearly been consumed by something else. So I'm curious to see what that's going to end up being. And if I were to have my bet, I don't think that those Fatui are under the control of the Saritsa. I think that Ball might have actually hijacked them for her own purposes, which I find interesting. We're gonna have to see how that ends up going. There's a lot of fun things from 1.6, not only from the story standpoint, but also from the gameplay one. So I'm looking forward to it a lot. Oh yeah, Nazi, Nancy. God, I still don't know how to say your name. I apologize. Um, one of the things that I heard quite a lot about was they were planning a cheat sheet buff. I don't think we're going to be getting that in 1.6, but I am looking forward to it. I do plan on releasing a video at some point in time based on a characters that I would buff. I've pretty much gathered all the information that I need. At this point, I just need to properly put the video down. Which does bring me to a couple things that I do want to take a look into. I have finally been able to start making videos again, but I'm kind of at a standstill as to the type of videos that I want to make from now on. I don't think I'm gonna be making the character guides anymore. They just take too much time. It puts a lot of time. It puts a lot of effort on my part, and they're not really doing that good. I understand that a lot of people like them, but they're just very difficult to do, and I don't think I'm contributing enough to the community for them to be worth it. So I'm probably just gonna have to drop them if I'm being honest. I might have to focus on more general discussions and more things in general, similar to what I did with Shang Li at the when he was being announced. I feel like I might have to move to that kind of content. I might bring them back sometime in the future, but for now, they're just draining too much of my time, and I'm not able to make as many videos as I want to make because I've been focusing so much on those. So I do think that I'm probably gonna separate that and have to just drop them in general. I'm sorry if that's the reason why you stuck to the channel. Um, I'm still gonna be trying to do a couple character guides here and there. Now that Kazuha has officially been shown, I can actually start working on Kazuha and do like a proper analysis of how he's gonna end up doing. I think the things that I'm gonna be keeping, I'm probably gonna keeping the what to expect for new characters. I ended up liking that format quite a bit, so you can still hope to see that one. Um, Discussion streams, those are gonna stay the same. Those are not gonna go anywhere. We might be able to do a couple more things based in Genshin now that I'm able to, play the game as well as stream it. So we might be doing a couple more community interactions based on that. I have also been able to stream quite a couple other games, so you can expect to see that a bit more. Right now, we've been streaming quite a bit of Subnautica. That's not going to be the only game that I'm going to be streaming. I'm probably going to be streaming just a whole variety of things. Genshin is not going to go anywhere. Genshin is not going to go anywhere, so don't worry about that one. Mostly, I think what I'm going to be doing is every Monday, I'm going to be trying to have a stream of a different game, a game that I just like. We might have things like Minecraft, we might have things like Subnautica, Stellaris, Civ 6, different indie games that I just want to play, things like Fury. I know that I want to play Titan Souls at some point or another. Um, Ark, for sure. And in between the week, I'm going to try my best to just try to get some Genshin content. My main objective is to try to get Fridays to be a Genshin stream, then Wednesdays to always be a video, and Mondays to always be a stream. If I stream in between, it's probably because I had enough time and there was a game that I really wanted to play, like Subnautica. I had a lot of time last week, so I managed to play a lot of Subnautica. Had a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Wolf Raiden. Hello, is it worth getting Eula? I need a main DPS, I have Shongli, and I'm at AR 36. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good thing to talk about. Eula. Um, Eula's really good. Eula is really, really good. But there are quite a couple things that you have to take into account before trying to get Eula. Um, Number one, it's probably a good thing that we got this question anyways. One of the things you have to keep in mind about Eula, she is a physical DPS, and a physical DPS that you can get a very high amount of damage on, even as a free-to-play player. You get a really powerful weapon from Dragonspine, the Snow Tomb Star Silver, if you manage to do the secret hidden quest, and you get that weapon for free. Once you get that weapon, you can craft more advances for it, but Eula doesn't really need those. She can do fine even with rank 1. She has a lot, and I mean a lot of damage in her burst. And that's kind of the thing that brings a lot of people to her, because that damage that she gets, it's equivalent to a maximum investment Mona without needing a vaporized burst or a vaporized proc. So the damage is insane. But here's the thing. She is very, very restrictive. A lot more than I originally thought she was going to end up being. This does not mean that she is less good. It just means that she has a lot of places where she is going to struggle. Abyss is definitely going to be one of those places. There's a lot of enemies that have resistances against physical damage, and even though Eula can nullify a lot of those resistances, that also nullifies a lot of the damage bonuses that she does get. Her biggest issue at the moment is dealing with elemental shields, which there are plenty of that are very annoying for Eula, and her burst. Her burst not only has horrible, and I mean absolutely horrendous energy recharge issues, it also does something that you really don't want when it comes to a damage burst. It backends a lot of the damage. You have to charge it up, and you don't choose when to detonate it. It happens automatically after 7 seconds. Because of this, this does actually cause a bit of a problem with Eula not being able to drop the burst when you want to. You can activate it early by switching out, but you don't want to switch out early because if you do, you won't be able to get a lot of the stacks. So you want to be able to wait as much as possible and then pop the burst against something. This does mean that a majority of her damage is centered on that one hit, which is not a bad thing because that damage is pretty massive. But if you're doing something like overkilling an enemy, that is a pretty massive DPS loss. And then you also have things that you have to keep in mind with the enemies moving away from the range. The range of the burst is not the greatest. It's okay-ish, but it's not massive. It's not as big as Mona's burst. It's pretty small, all things considered. So you have to be careful about that. She has a lot of advantages, but it's kind of difficult to recommend unless you have very specific characters. You need a very, very heavily invested Diona. You need you need a character that can take advantage of a lot of the weaknesses that she does have. Mainly, I'm mainly looking at oh god, what's her name? Xinyan. Xinyan. You need to have those two characters very invested, and then on top of that, you need even more defense to make sure that you can take full advantage of Eula. She's really, really good though. I think she's slightly lower than Xiao. That's probably where I would place her. Um, where you can make her work, and you can, if you get really good with her, she's gonna be amazing. But as far as DPS are concerned, I would probably wait if I'm being honest. I don't think I would. I don't think I would recommend you pick Eula over other characters, especially if you already have Zhongli. If you already have Zhongli, I don't really see a reason for you to want Eula. There's other characters that can do burst better that are upcoming. We know that there's going to be a Hu Tao rerun at some point in the future. We're even getting a Klee rerun in 1.6. So that might be a better option. Right now, if you're thinking about Eula, honestly, Eula might not be the reason to roll in this banner. Let me go ahead and jump to the banner real quick. If you really want a reason to roll for the Eula banner right now as a free-to-play player, I would say Xingqiu is probably that reason. Eula, she's really, really good. Really, really good. But you need to be aware of that investment. She is going to require quite a bit of investment. Not from the equipment side, you can get a lot of that really, really easily. It's more going to be from the player side. You're going to have to put a lot of time into learning cancels. You're going to have to put a lot of time into getting to know the character as a whole. And this is just a personal opinion, but I didn't really like how Eula attacked. It was not up to what I liked, if I'm being honest. Let's just go into let's just go into a test run just to show you a couple things. Oh yeah, she can nuke abyss floors. Like Eula is insane. And I think, as I mentioned in my what to expect, I do think that Eula is going to become a really good character for very specific Abyss floors. I think she's gonna. The best way of putting Eula is that she's gonna end up becoming a counter pick. Whenever you see a single enemy that you just need gone, Eula is going to be that character that's gonna help you with that. But yeah, now that we're here in the test run, I want to show a couple of things that I don't like about Eula, as well as a couple of things that I do like about Eula. So let's start with the normal attacks. The normal attacks, they do seem pretty fast, but one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that they are still claymore attacks. So that means that for a lot of what they want to do, they rely a lot on staggering the enemy. And one of the things about Eula is that she doesn't actually stagger the enemies as much as other claymore users. She has a pretty big problem that's similar to Beto, where it's hard to get the full. It's really hard to get the full combo off without having help. That's one of the reasons why you really want to have Diona, so that you can. God, I'm just getting destroyed. I'm not playing properly. I'm trying to talk at the same time as explain a couple things. So you have to be really careful when it comes to that. But as you can see, the damage is pretty massive. She has insane scaling when it comes to her attacks. So if you can manage to get everything set up, let's just take a look at this. These are insane numbers. She is so much better than Razor. She also has pretty massive bonuses when it comes to Eyesight Vortex. One of the things that I mentioned on my what to expect for Eula was the physical reduction. When you get our max rank, you can reduce like 60%. And let's also take a look at Eyesight Vortex. Eyesight Vortex is probably one of the more interesting abilities, and it's definitely really good. It's one of the things that actually does make her pretty decent. The low cooldown does allow you to do quite a lot of things, and the hold version has a lot of damage tied to it because of her Ascension passives. This is honestly a very good elemental skill. It's probably on the top percentage of elemental skills that I really like. I do think Eula is a really good character, but you're gonna have to really work on a lot of the cancels. I think one of the things that I did notice was that after the third hit, once she does the blade, the attack chain seems to... Oh god, I'm dying. I need to pay attention and not just be talking. Yeah, I need to pay attention and not just be talking. But one of the things that I did notice about the attack chain, I'm just going to reset the domain so I can show it properly without dying. The second part of Eula's attack chain seems very slow. So, one of the things I want to do. This is really fast. If we go ahead and grab a timer, let's just do this. That is really fluid. That particular combo right there feels incredibly fluid. And I think that's one of the reasons why that's one of the parts that I really like about Eula. If you get a lot of the combos really well, she feels incredibly fluid. But the problem does lie on the second part. If we keep on canceling over, you see that little spin that she does at the end? Let me just go ahead and do this. That spin that she does takes up a lot of frames, which does make that last hit that she does feel really underwhelming. It takes a long time, so that means that you usually want to cancel that one. And that really sucks because a lot of her scaling comes from that hit. So she is losing quite a bit of scaling, even though she shouldn't. She is, which does drop her DPS a little bit. It's still incredibly high though. It's still incredibly high. But yeah, let me go ahead and take a look at the chat really quickly. Because I closed my chat for a sec. Just give me one sec. Alright, there we go. So yeah, it's gonna depend a lot on the playstyle that you want to choose for Eula. I do think Eula is an amazing character. She just requires a lot of investment. Not as much as other characters. Xiao definitely needs a bit more. A character like Tartaglia definitely needs a lot more. But based on what we know right now, if you're just starting out and you need a physical DPS, what I would recommend is you just grab Xiangling. Xiangling will probably do you just as well as Eula. And one of the things about Xiangling is that Xiangling won't fall off anytime soon. She has a lot of builds that you can do with her, so investing into Xiangling is more efficient than investing into Eula. If you do get Eula though, don't worry too much about it. Eula is still incredibly good. I'm going to be showing a little bit of the things about her burst. This burst is going to shine in Abyss in particular, but it is going to be a pain to set up. So let's just go ahead and... Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go with Ice Ice Vortex. So Ice Ice Vortex, as soon as we started, you can see that it has that little sword over there. After 7 seconds, it's just going to fall into the ground and explode and deal a lot of damage. The more you hit with Eula, the more you're going to be getting that Ice Tide Vortex. You're going to be getting that... Glacial Illumination. The more you hit with it, you're going to be getting more scaling. And the scaling of Eula can actually go incredibly high. I think her maximum scaling is somewhere around the 4,000 mark. To put that into perspective, the maximum scaling for Mona's Stellaris Phantasm, the previous holder for the highest damage hit, maybe Hu Tao might be able to do a bit more. I don't know. But the scaling for that, with Vaporized, was like 2,000. You could get it a lot higher if you have Elemental Mastery, but even then, the maximum you could get it was like 3,700, I think. Somewhere around that mark. You can get it really high. But Eula can just have access to that. Just from using the burst normally. No Vaporize, no EM buffs, none of that. None of those shenanigans. So it sounds really good, right? Well, here's where a lot of the issues come in. The main issue is that you have to charge it. That is going to be the biggest issue for a lot of characters. And while Eula does have, for a lot of players, and while Eula does have a lot of ways to charge the burst, they're not as many as you think. If we take a look at the ways that she does, most of those ways require attack speed. That's going to be one of the things that Eula is really missing at the moment. She is missing a character that can give her extra attack speed. Right now, the way that a lot of the whales are managing to solve that issue is with this weapon right here, the Song of the Broken Spines, which increases the attack speed. I do think that we're going to get in the future a character that manages to increase attack speed without being Chongyun, who kind of ruins a lot of the things about here that we talked about here because he has an infusion. But until we get that character, Eula is going to feel clunky. She's going to feel like she's missing something. Just keep that in mind. We're probably going to get her missing part somewhere in the future. Just not sure when. I do expect it to be good. I don't think I can recommend her to new players. The characters in the banner, they're all really, really good if I'm being honest. But they're all super high investment. One of the problems that you're going to see a lot is going to be that often as you're fighting, you're going to send enemies flying away, or enemies are just going to be able to dodge the attack from Glacial Illumination. And that's going to be one of the main issues that you're going to be having a lot of the time. Again, I do think Eula is going to be amazing. It's just, she has a lot of issues. Issues that you have to be aware of. Top DPS in the game are Eula, Ganyu, Hu Tao, and Xiao. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Those are kind of like the 4 characters that I would like to put. I think Eula's probably the weakest, if I'm being honest. but she also has the potential to have the strongest hit. So it's kind of a balancing act. From one scenario, I think Ganyu is the cheapest. She's definitely the cheapest and the one that I would recommend for free-to-play players, unless you're playing in mobile. If you're playing in mobile, Hu Tao probably. Xiao requires a lot of investment. A lot of his best teams need a lot of 5 stars as well as very high investment. Xiao's best support is Jean, which is another 5 star. And the best way for him to manage a lot of his problems with Bane of Evil is for him to have Zhongli. So that's already like 2 5 stars. Xiao is very expensive. Hu Tao, somewhere in the middle. Her best weapon is Homa, but she can make do with things like Black Cliff. Hu Tao is probably the other one that I would keep on lookout for free-to-play players. Hu Tao and Ganyu. I don't think Eula is the right choice if you're just starting out and you're wanting a main character. A lot of the things that you get from Eula, you can get from Xiangling, so that's probably not ideal. If you already have Zhongli, Zhongli should be able to carry you through a lot of the content that we're gonna be getting in the future. I don't think Eula is the character you're looking for. I would probably wait for either Hu Tao or Ganyu, if I'm being honest. Hu Tao is probably your best bet. If you really want to roll, and you don't have that much pity saved up, it might be a good idea to roll just to get Xingqiu. But that is very risky. I would probably wait until Xingqiu just appears in the shop, because he does appear in the shop. We already know that he's part of that rotation. That might be safer. Just save up a lot of the coins that you end up getting and just buy Xingqiu from the shop. Wait for Hu Tao. That's probably the best bet. If another character comes out in the future that I feel is a really good DPS, I'll make sure to inform you. I don't think we have a lot of those in the future. I know that we're supposed to get Ayaka relatively soon, but I'm not super sure about Ayaka, if I'm being honest. I'm not sold at the moment. I know someone who 36 starred Abyss on mobile with Hu Tao. Yeah, I think Hu Tao is pretty good. Again, Eula is amazing. If you really want to roll for her, she's not a bad pick, for sure. She has a lot of counter pick potential. She is a physical damage dealer, which means that in the future, now that we're going to be getting things like the EM buffs, you can make a lot of really good teams with her. She does feel fluid in a lot of scenarios. You just gotta get used to it. Like this actually does feel pretty nice. This combo, it's probably the one that I like the most. I don't know if it's the most efficient. It's the one that feels the best. I might have to do a bit more frame testing to be sure. This just feels the best. But yeah, let me get back to the rock, and we'll go back to Q&A. Remember, a lot of the things about Genshin is that you wanna make sure to see what resources you have. What you end up going and the best team that you can make is gonna depend very heavily on the characters that you end up getting at the very beginning. So choose based on that. At some point or another, you're just gonna end up getting a lot of the best teams. Like I know that one of the best teams right now that a lot of people are using is the so-called Chinese National League, which is Xiangling, Bennett, Zhongyun, and Xingqiu. All of those are 4-star characters. Xingqiu you can get from the shop if you save up a lot of the coins. Same for Bennett. A lot of those characters are fairly easy to get, and they don't need that much for investment. If you want a really, really good team, that's probably the one that you go for. I personally don't like to go for that team, so I changed mine a little bit. My version of National League, which is definitely weaker, It's definitely weaker. I will say that. I will say that right now. It does not do as much damage, but I like it a lot more. This is the version that this is the version that I like. I essentially have Albedo as my main crystallized giver. I have my Fischl as my additional Crescent Pike, basically. Um, and this is actually very important. I know that National League uses a Pyro Shangling. If you're going to be using this one, you actually need to use Crescent Pike. Because the main purpose of this particular team is to abuse Electrocharge, Vaporize, and Overloaded. I like this version more because it has more stagger potential. This is the one that I like. Um, but yeah, let's go back to Rock. As we were saying, when it comes to Genshin, where's my... over here. When it comes to Genshin, a lot of the time, it's gonna depend entirely on what resources you have. Keep an eye out for what you want to play, keep an eye out for what style you want to go for, save your resources for that, and for the most part, unless you're trying to do very specific Abyss floors, you should be able to just enjoy the game with pretty much anything. You can make everything work, even Amber. I would not recommend that you try to make Amber work, but you could. Eight-second clear, yeah. Eula's crazy. Eula's insane. Um, she's not a bad pick. I don't think she's the most flexible pick, though. If you're picking Eula, you need to pick Eula knowing what you're going into, what you're going in for. You're gonna want her for very specific floors. You're gonna want her as a one-time nuke that's gonna be very hard to reset. You're not gonna want her for boss fights. You're gonna want her for time rushes. That's basically what you're looking for. Lucas is also really good. Your Shangling is trash? Yeah, Shangling takes a lot to get going. Trust me, it takes a long to get going. If you manage to get Xingqiu is actually fits really, really well with Shangling. So I would 100% recommend that you try that one. You have to run Shangling with Bennett, otherwise the air cost is too high. Yeah, it's pretty high. I managed to get mine up to like 160, so I'm not super worried about that one. I usually have enough resources for it. I also have two characters with sacrificial weapons, so energy is not a problem for me. It takes a lot of investment though. It takes a lot of investment. There's a lot of fun builds in Genshin at the moment. There's a couple ones that are really interesting. A lot of that don't require that much investment either. It's starting to become a pretty flexible game. We just got to keep on waiting and seeing what new characters we're going to be getting. The one thing that I'm looking forward to is getting a character that can increase attack speed. If we get a character that can increase attack speed without interfering with infusions, I'm gonna be really really happy. I'm putting that on my Noel team. I know that for a fact. Eula's an acquired taste, like no woman of Tanar. I that's a pretty fair statement. I don't think she's bad. I think she's really really good. I think she's gonna continue to be really really good into the future as well. And there's gonna be a lot of places where Eula is going to be the preferred option, just because of how much damage she can get within a small amount of time. Floors like the one that we just did, 12, 12 13. Imagine if I had Eula there. If I throw Venti and I went with Eula instead of what I was using with Ning Wang, we could probably kill a lot of the we could probably kill those Fatui within those 7 seconds. The thing that would be the most frustrating though is have the sword drop and both of the Fatui teleport. If that happens, I'm just rage quitting. Which is bound to happen to a lot of people, but oh well. You need to change my your Kaching. Yeah, Kaching is in a weird position. Kaching is definitely in a weird position. She has a lot of potential in charge attack positions, and she has a lot of potential in EM specific builds with Xing Cho. The thing is, at the moment, while electric charge is really good, it's not going to be comparing to things like vaporize. It's not going to be comparing to things like melt. It's it's not that Kaching is bad. It's just that there are options that are more efficient. And because of that, Kaching is going to be dropped by a lot of people. As you keep on getting things that are just better, you're just not going to be using Kaching. Kaching, one of the biggest advantages of her is meant to be the electro element, but the electro element is not in the best of spots for DPS. For support, it's actually starting to become pretty good. Um, but she's not a support. She's a DPS. And the current version of Electro not having as much power as it should is holding her back. Once we start seeing more things like the EM buffs that we're going to be getting in the future, I think a Electrocharge Kaching might make a bit of a comeback with things like the Thunder Soother. Is that what it's called? Thunder Soother? I'm pretty sure. To increase the damage of her quite a bit and just have like a permanent Electrocharge on enemies. I feel like things like that are going to start picking up some steam as buffs keep on coming in. We're gonna have to wait and see though. We're gonna have to wait and see. Kaching is not in the best spot right now. She's not bad, but she does get replaced really quickly as you start investing in other characters. For bosses, I think she's really good, but if you try to use her in Abyss, you're gonna get murdered. Quick swap Kaching. That's not super bad. Kaching's energy generation is pretty good as well, and the damage of her elemental skill is actually pretty big. A lot of the uh, a lot of the electro characters have really high scaling on their initial burst, but there's no real way to increase the power of that scaling. Hence why they often feel underwhelming, just because melt and vaporize do so much more. It's kind of hard. I'm hoping that Dendro is gonna give Electra a bigger buff, kind of like a multiplicative reaction. That would probably fix a lot of issues. That would make Vito really, really good. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think they're going to keep their electric DPSs as weak as they are, mainly because they want to sell characters, and we're going to be getting Ball pretty soon. Usually, you can expect to see buffs for element types when the Archons come out. We're already getting the AM buffs, which are pretty helpful. Although, if I'm being honest, they're going to be helping the top characters a lot more than they're going to be helping the current ones. I'm already experimenting with a triple reaction composition, and the numbers are looking pretty good. We'll see what ends up being the case. We'll see what ends up being the case. Eula has a very specific use, and that's why I want her in my team. No, you could be right. I mean, I think Eula has a lot of uses. It's just they're all very, very centered towards speed running. Eula's design is very centered on that. If you need something killed within seconds, you bring Eula. But as soon as that thing gets killed, as soon as that burst gets dropped, you need a way to get that burst back up. Otherwise, you're just playing worse Racer. If you don't have the resources to keep Glacial Illumination on if you don't have the resources to keep Glacial Illumination being cast as soon as the cooldown is over, Eula's not gonna be that good. So you just gotta keep that in mind. Right now, the best way is with Diona, or we're probably gonna get better ways in the future. Right now, she might feel weaker than the other options, but I do think that she's probably gonna end up scaling better. We just don't have the things that make her scale better, which is attack speed buffs. Once we start getting characters that can give attack speed buffs, Eula's gonna shoot up really, really quickly. Her energy issue is already fixed. The only issue she has right now is going to be that getting the charges. That's the only thing that I'm feeling annoyed by right now. The only thing we have right now is her signature weapon, and let's be real, that's like a $400 investment. You're not getting that as a free to play at a minimum. It could even be more. If your game plan revolves around having a specific 5-star weapon from the Limit banner, you should probably try to get a different game plan. At this point, we're comparing top of the line sport cars against each other. Drive what you like. Yeah, 100%. Play what you like. Play what you like. You can make it work. For me, I'm going to be playing Fischl because I think Fischl is absolutely busted. We can talk about Fischl for a lot of times, but once the EM buffs come around, I'll do a bit more. I'll do another segment on Fischl because I think the changes that we're getting to EM are going to make this character busted, especially if you have the yellow at the end. Is Xiao the favorite? I don't know. I don't think he's the best. But if he's your favorite, go for him. I wanted Xiao. I wanted Xiao. I didn't get Xiao. God damn it. God damn it, child. That's fine. Uh, just play what you want. In all honesty, don't bother with Abyss and just play what you want. To me, Genshin has always shined the most when it comes to boss battles, and in boss battles, we're probably gonna be getting more of that. Abyss is kind of like that end game thing that keeps whales entertained, and just causes suffering for free to play. Serpent Spine, yeah, battle pass weapons. The Serpent Spine is kind of crazy. One of the main reasons it's not even because of the well, it is kind of because of buffs. If you're using Serpent Spine though, prepare to die. You are going to die a lot. While Eula does have a defense bonus, it's not massive enough to keep her safe all that time. You're going to be relying a lot on shields. Or Zhongli, if you have Zhongli. But if you have Zhongli, you probably have other things that you can do for a better team. You're going to go for Xiao rerun? Raider? When is Xiao's rerun? I don't know. It's probably going to take a while. Likely, I know that we're supposed to get Albedo before Inazuma release. And Xiao is likely going to come before Hu Tao. Likely. That's probably going to be a while. I think we still have at a minimum, probably like 4 months. It's probably going to be more. September. That that might be a bit early if I'm being honest. I'm honestly kind of expecting November, just with how a lot of the releases are going on. Because we know that we're gonna be getting Klee right now. Albedo is gonna be before Inazuma. The next one after Albedo is probably gonna be Xiao. September. Let's see. We're gonna be getting Klee right now. The next banner after Klee is gonna be Kazuha, so that's already into June. Then we're gonna be getting 1.7, which is likely going to be Albedo and Ayaka, just from what the leaks have said so far. After that, it's either going to be Xiao or Hu Tao. It's anybody's guess at that point. I'm going to bet on Xiao. So September does sound kind of reasonable. Hu Tao is coming in October. Yep, actually, yeah. Now that you mention that, they do have that event. They do have that Chinese celebration. So she's going to be in October. That makes sense. That makes sense. September sounds kind of okay for Xiao based on timings, unless we get another double running um, Unless we get another banner where we get two new characters, we're probably going to be getting Xiao sometime around that period of time. I expect we're going to get Inazuma somewhere around December. That might be optimistic though. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, pretty much almost all of the best teams for Eula are consistent of shield users because she's going to be a lot on the field, and a lot of the shield users just have really good abilities. Diona has good energy generation for the element that she wants. Xinyan can allow her to melt her hits, her ice hits, which surprisingly have really good scaling. Even with a full physical build, they're still gonna hurt. And you also have Xinyan's ability to further do damage with her Blazing Revolution, Blazing Riff, or something of the sort. She has her C2, which guarantees a crit, which means you can just go full crit damage and to a massive amount of damage right after you burst Eula's Glacial Illumination. Those two together, they do massive amounts of damage. Eula does like, I don't know, an average like 100,000, and then Shinjan just comes ahead and does another 100,000 just because. They're pretty good. They're pretty good together. Yeah, I've heard weird things about an Albedo coming to the standard banner. Huh. That'd be interesting. Xinyan also has physical resistance shred. That's only if you have her C4 though. The biggest thing that you want from Xinyan is definitely that extra Blazing Revolution hit. The physical reduction is really nice, but it's kind of unnecessary at that point. The extra damage that you get is, what was it, like 3%? Which is still pretty good. That's nothing to bat an eye on, especially when you're talking about damages in the millions. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of nice things. A lot of nice things for the future. You're gonna be saving for Hu Tao? I think for me in particular, I'm gonna be trying to get the C2 on Albedo. I don't think I need it if I'm being honest. I might just we'll see. The two things that I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to Ball, Raiden, even if she's horrible. I'm gonna try to get her, even if she's horrendous. 100% waifu and Albedo rerun, just because I feel Albedo is just an insane character. Crystallize is just OP. There's no other way around it. I think Albedo would have at least one more rerun. We're probably gonna get at least one more for Albedo. I want to try to get his C2. I'm just not super sure if I do want it or not. Um, I'm currently like at 75 pity. I might risk the 50-50. I might risk the 50-50. I really want to get Raiden though, or Ball, whatever you want to call her. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of characters that are looking really nice, but we have to wait and see what they're going to be for abilities. Dendro, who knows when we're going to be getting that. So Banshu, Baishu, it's probably going to be a while. I'm hoping that we'll get it before the end of the year, but I'm not holding any expectations, so I'm being honest. Albedo should at least do better than Tartaglia Rebound. Probably. I mean, Albedo's not a bad character. He's insane. I think a lot of people didn't get him on the first banner because they were a bit iffy about him. I think that was about the time when the Zhongli changes got announced, and there was a bit of a discussion of whether you should go for Zhongli or whether you should go for Albedo. I think Albedo had that battle won before the Zhongli changes, and then Zhongli is just the Zhongli that we know right now. They both kind of do the same thing, and They're both incredible supports. Zhongli can even do physical DPS if you can afford that. Both of them together is definitely the way to go. I'm pretty sure that's one of the teams that people use for Xiao because energy generation as well as the extra damage from the shield, 15%. It's not bad. I feel like Alvito will get a rerun. I don't know if they'll put him in the standard banner. They might. It wouldn't be that bad of a thing, especially because Albedo is likely going to keep on appearing on the story. So it kind of makes sense. It would also pad out a couple of the characters. I don't know if they would do that though. Not right now. It makes sense from a financial standpoint if I think about it. He's a story character that's probably going to be recurring because he's exploring the truth of the world. He's also from Mondstadt, so that makes sense. He's from Dragonspine as well. He appears as one of the characters from Dragonspine, so if there's anybody that they would put in the standard banner, Albedo is the one that makes the most sense from a story perspective. Even from the economical side. I feel like if they do that though, they'd probably do that after they do one more rerun. It just makes more sense. That would also mean that you'd be able to get Albedo from the standard banner, which could be a pretty big boon for a lot of people. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. We'd have two high value supports in that banner. Three technically, if you count Jean. Which I do. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I wouldn't mind having Albedo on the banner. I would prefer if they do at least one more rerun, but we'll have to wait and see. Which reminds me, we did see that they were going to do the. They did say that they were looking into getting the skins that we saw for KFC for Noel and Diluc, which makes me think that we're likely going to get a Diluc banner sometime in the future. If they do release those skins, we're likely to get a Diluc banner alongside those. But yeah, we did really, really good. We did really, really good on this stream. I think it's starting to get to a point where I am going to start to be heading out. Um, I do expect to be able to have a little bit more of a proper discussion about the live stream that we just had on the next stream that I do, which is probably going to be Sunday or Saturday. I think what I'll do is I'll make the Genshin stream on Sunday. Tomorrow we're probably going to be playing a little bit of Subnautica. We'll see what we can do. Oh, I pressed that accent. But for now though, we succeeded in our goal. We managed to beat Abyss a lot quicker than I expected. If I'm being honest, I did not expect to beat it within an hour. As you can see, 36 stars. We succeeded. With that out of the way though, if you enjoyed, thank you very much for watching. This has been Portals. Out.
別の天中宙に分け与えられた楽園エデン。私断